You're on, Terry.
Hey, everybody, welcome, welcome. I hope that you had a wonderful Easter weekend and that it was a special time for your family. And for those of you that celebrated Passover, I hope that you had a fabulous weekend with your family as well. It's the season of renewal. So it is springtime, and it's kind of perfect theme for tonight. Tonight is about jumping into something new. For a lot of us, it's going to be a journey into growth, but also in renewal of our businesses, renewal of our focus. And I have been watching what's been happening very closely for like the past year and a half. And I've been watching our speaker tonight, National Marketing Director, International Marketing Director, Jamie Cantrell and her team, and what they've been doing with social media. And I have to tell you, it's absolutely amazing. And one of the things that I love about Jamie is that she gets the product, no doubt about that. Okay. And she certainly gets and understands relationships and builds amazing relationships, but she's become a student of social media, Facebook, Instagram. She studies it, she learns, and then she teaches it. And so tonight, Jamie's going to put on her teacher hat, and she's going to share with us some of the things that she does. Now, for some of you, this is going to be a stretch, but what I know, and Jamie always refers back to it, is that it's not either or anymore. It's not just about passing out a CD and following up, or a CD, who even uses those anymore, sending a video and following up. This is the season of, yeah, we'll do that. But I'm going to tell you, getting savvy about social media, as Victor Hugo said 100 years ago, it's an idea whose time has come. So Jamie, I'm going to mute myself and I'm going to turn it over to you. I love you, baby girl.
I love you too. And you know what? One of the greatest examples you have taught me is to always be a student of life, right? Because if you stop learning, you start dying. I will always remember the conversation you and I had on the beach that one day. But here I am sitting in my car. I'm at my alma mater, okay, Plano Senior High. You can't see this, but my son is playing varsity basketball. And it's such a beautiful illustration of the point I'm trying to drive home tonight, is that I'm sitting here in the car doing business because this business can be done from anywhere, particularly if you have a phone. But the other thing is, in the season of life that I'm in, and the season of life that people that I'm in conversations with, that I'm trying to attract to either the product or the business, they live parallel lives as well. Meaning, tonight I will be out, Tuesday I will be out, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and all day Saturday and Sunday, because my children are in a place in their lives that my business affords for me to be very present, but it asks a lot of my time. And Terry and Jerry, if you were to approach me today with the idea of Juice Plus, as much as I would be interested in it, I don't know that I would have had the bandwidth to show up to an event. I don't know that I would have had the bandwidth to show up to a Zoom. And so I'm saying this because the message behind the message tonight is one of simplicity. How well do you know your customers? How well do you know your potential customers? How well do you know what they need? Because for so long, we have practiced this ideology, which works. The traditional means of our Juice Plus business is to host events, is to invite people to come show something. Yes, and Jerry, you're right, timing is everything. But this is the bolt-on that I want to stress, is that increasingly our lives are becoming busier and busier. Raise your hand if you are a busy person. All of our hands would be up. In fact, any person we talk to, their hands would be up, because automation, technology, and the digital world has made our lives even more full than before. And so the call to action for you tonight, you're going to have homework at the end, and it will be about creating your bio. But that's just a small piece of this puzzle. Whether you're watching live or on replay, to me, one of the messages I want to provide to you tonight is, number one, stop studying our product, stop studying our research, stop studying our comp plan and our business model. It's important to know those things. Stop trying to sound perfect when you're talking to someone. Stop trying to create the perfect email or the perfect invite or script things out. Start studying your potential customer. Who are they? Put a name, put a face. And a lot of times that person is an extension of you, who you are. And nobody can rob you of your beautiful life experiences. You are the expert in your own life. And if you can begin to craft and hone in on who are the people you're trying to talk to, trying to market to, you are going to have the innate ability to draw upon your own life experiences, to communicate effectively, and transition these conversations from selling to serving. I will tell you today, because in January, I made a decision. And I made a decision that I was going to progressively move my business more digital. I don't even say social media, because when I talk digital, I'm talking social, I'm talking email, I'm talking text, I'm talking website, I'm talking all the different channels that people use to get information from. Because if I were to ask you this, where do you get information from? Truly, where do you spend your time acquiring information? Are you showing up to 30-minute Zooms? Are you showing up to hour webinars? Or are you going through online, whether it's a Google search, a website, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook? Where do you collect data? Because if you're showing up in those places, chances are your audience is too. So I have two quotes that YouTube, Judy, yes, YouTube, exactly. It's a digital world. And I'm gonna cut straight to the chase. If you are not participating actively in running your business digitally, then you're a sitting duck. Because I have some research and some trends to suggest why that's so important. Now, first, let me start with this week at conference, Donald Miller wrote the book Story Brand. And it's going to be an incredible opportunity to understand that point driving home. But he quoted this: unless I can communicate how I can help my customers survive and thrive, they're not interested. But where do you communicate it to? Second quote, people do not buy the best products. They buy the ones that they can clearly understand the fastest and have access to the quickest. We live in a fast-paced digital world. Hear me when I tell you, I'm not undermining belly-to-belly conversations. Those are important. But are you showing up in the places that the people you're trying to talk to? Are you showing up not just as a Juice Plus infomercial and spamming the products, but are you showing up with things that are important to them? And we'll talk about that. So I just want to give you some updates. You're going to learn more from conference this week, but our company is making necessary and needed changes to upgrade and up-level their digital experience and their digital presence. So understand the responsibility doesn't fall on all of us as individual 1099 contractual employees. You're not, Heather or Alicia, expected to go out and become a social media agency. All right, the company is doing a lot of work behind the scenes, but because you are a marketing arm of this company, there are some certain things and tips and strategies to develop and take in and apply so that the message is congruent across the board from company to 1099 employee. The other thing is you are not Juice Plus. You are not the Juice Plus product. You are not the Juice Plus company. You are not the Juice Plus business. You're Heather Rappa. You're Alicia Garland. You're Jerry Moran. You're Terry Luongo. Who are you? And are you showing up as that person online, providing the value that your potentials need to hear from you in order for them to buy and join your team? That's a question to noodle on. So there are some interesting trends, 5 trends that I want to share with you right now. I've been doing some research. There's some great business websites and business companies, marketing companies that I refer to often and I learn. And they're talking about the modern day customer as we know it. Who is that person and what is it that they want? So here are the 5 trends. Trend number one, the want it now customer culture. They want it right now. Customers want speed. They want, I mean, think about what Amazon has done to the way consumers consume products. Customers want speed, and businesses, yes, Kelly, they want prime effect. Businesses will be forced to adopt to a digital first mindset to deliver it. So think about it. What have been your last 5 to 10 purchases? Have you gotten in the car, traveled brick and mortar, or did you get online and point, click, and deliver? If you can say that 50 to 90% of your consumerism is done online, then you are a perfect prime candidate to bring your business online. 80% of, trend number 2, seamless omni-channel experiences replace physical, digital patchwork. What does that mean? With consumers engaging from their choice of, consumers want options. If they want to go to brick and mortar, they can go to brick and mortar. Since we're not a brick and mortar company, we have a more traditional means. And our traditional means is we host events, we invite people to them, but we're asking people of their time. And how many times have you had an event where nobody's shown up? Right? Not to say that events don't work, they do, but you've got to pay attention because you've got to provide options. Have your events, have your messenger events, have your Zoom events, but how are you also, it's a both and, how are you showing up digitally so that you give them options? For me, like I said, if someone invited me to an event today, I would not go. I'm not going to trade off my children's sports to show up for something where I'm asked to buy something, when in this day and age, I can go online, I can click and purchase it, be at my doorstep, and I won't have to miss my kids' stuff. So seamless omni-channel experiences provide multiple ways to reach your customer. They want options. 80% of consumers are more likely to buy from businesses that offer more personalized experiences across the channel of email, text, social media, as well as belly to belly. Give your potential customers options. Trend number 3, message and mobile first conversations redefine customer delight. What does that mean? It means, how many times have you prospected coldly and gotten a cold response? It's the, hey girl, what are you up to? And you don't hear anything back. What trends are saying is message and mobile first are the way people want their first exposure to anything, as opposed to being invited to something, as opposed to, they want to see and trust you online, so that when you come and message them and through mobile, they'll be ready to respond. Okay, businesses that use messaging and mobile first channels are winning. 68% of users believe that it's the most convenient way to engage with a brand. Trend number 4, and this is about agent empowerment. This is more of the company, but I want to share this because this is important. Agent empowerment drives customer delight. People want chat features to handle their basic customer service issues. Customer care, customer service through chat features. And in our case, as 1099 employees, can you solve their challenges, questions through messenger, or text quickly? Trend number 5, customer experience. There's 3 levels here. There's something called customer service, which we have an entire customer service department. Their job is to handle any questions, solve problems, and help your customers navigate through the day-to-day. Then we have customer care, which is us as 1099. We practice customer care. We pick up the phone, we check in on them, we collect their stories, right? Those are touch points. Those are necessary pieces to the customer journey. But trends are now suggesting we have to elevate it to what's called customer experience. It goes beyond customer service. It goes beyond customer care. Customers and consumers expect to have an experience with their product if they're going to stay with you. And what does that experience look like? It happens even before the point of sale. The customer journey, if you're to map it out, is a life cycle of what it takes to actually become a customer. That includes the pre-point of sale, attraction marketing, and visual online presence. So if you aren't somebody that has a digital presence, how does somebody know to do business with you? There are 7 billion people in the world. Do they know your store is open? And they want to learn through your experiences how your experience is going to make their experience better. So you're saying, okay, Jamie, you just gave me 5 trends. I'm really trying to process, what does this all mean? And I'm going to keep it really, real simple. Your customer needs you to show up online, period. And the way they need you to show up is not a salesperson of Juice Plus. They need you to show up who you are and how you're going to help them solve their problems. Now, I have heard, and I've actually been that person who has said before, these 3 objections to digital presence. Number 1, it is so overwhelming to me. There are so many platforms, there's so many algorithms, there's so many rules, there's so many things I need to know. How do I do all of this? I need to be perfect at it. We get overwhelmed. And actually, the beautiful part is none of that's true. Pick one platform and just show up as you. I will tell you, recent research suggests that Facebook is a great place to nurture existing relationships, but sales take place on Instagram. So if you're interested in growing your business, then you've got to take a look at Instagram, creating a brand, creating you on Instagram to create those ongoing sales conversations. The second objection I hear is, I don't want to put myself out there. I don't want everybody online in the digital space to know everything about me. And my answer is good, you don't have to, because this actually has very little to do with you, and it has everything to do with how you're going to improve other people's lives. So the question I will go back to is, who are you and how do you help people? And I'll talk a little bit, I'll give you some framework here in a minute. And the third objection is, people say, I don't know where to begin. And I don't know how to be authentic. The only way I think to be authentic is belly to belly, one-on-one conversations. All digital is an entryway to create more conversations where people are, where people want to show up. So you can go about the business of developing authentic, awesome relationships. Stop being a salesperson. If you're going online strictly to sell, then you've got the wrong idea. You're going online to solve problems. So here's what my belief. Going online, the number one thing that happens is people get stuck on social. They try posting, they post and they pray, they hope people will respond. People don't respond. They do what they think they're supposed to do. They're consistent, yet they don't get the results that they want. And this is where I encourage people to do a little audit. If I were to go to your page, would I understand clearly what it is you're trying to achieve? And the problem I see a lot of people, myself included, is that we think that we have to be a Juice Plus salesperson. And people don't understand what you're trying to do. They don't understand how you're going to bring value to them. So question number 1, what is your message? When you go online, what is your message? Who is your audience? And what I'm asking you to do here is I'm asking you to niche. I'm asking you to be an extension of who you are. And the greatest example I can give is the exercise I've gone through. When I hired a virtual assistant team, a social media strategist team in January, these were the questions they asked me. Because when you market to everybody, you market to nobody. And so if you look at my Instagram page, you will absolutely, how many of you have seen my Instagram page? It's far from perfect. It's a work in progress, but there's no doubt who I'm there to serve. Alicia, right? You know exactly who I'm serving. You come to my page, you know exactly who I'm talking to. Why? Because that's who I am. These are the experiences of who I am. And the fear with being a coach for a complete athlete that I had was, if I'm only talking to athletic families, aren't I cutting off the rest of the world? And actually the opposite has happened. I have developed more natural conversations with people because I'm talking about everything that relates to being an athletic family and being an athlete at the next level. And Juice Plus is very much a piece of that conversation. In fact, today I will share with you, I clicked on my virtual office, I went online, and I have a new team member. In 9 years that I've been in this business, I've never had someone sign up without me knowing about it. And so I messaged this person and I said, I'm so excited, because I know who they are. I'm so excited you're joining my team. Tell me more about this. She's like, I'm loving what you're doing on Instagram. I can see myself doing that. So I want you to know it takes time, but it works. Okay. Second, so understanding who you are, who you're helping, what's your message. The second thing is you have to have a plan, right? For years, I was taught schedule it Sunday. You have to do the same thing with your digital presence. On Monday, what are you posting about? On Tuesday, what are you posting about? On Wednesday. And the question is, what do those days look like? Well, what are the pillars of life that are important to you? Family, friendships, fun. For me, I have 5 pillars that I continuously post about. And those are the things that show up in your daily feed, the main post on Instagram or Facebook. And I will tell you, mental, physical, spiritual, social, emotional, and financial. It's actually 6. Every day, I'm drawing on one of those pillars as relates to my audience. And that's what I post about. And so for me to schedule my week by week social is easy because I know what I'm posting about, and it's topics that are important to my audience. And guess what? Guess what always one of the solutions is? No matter what pillar, Juice Plus is always a piece of the solution. So it's very important to have a plan. Number 3. So how do you begin? Number 1, you identify who your audience is. 2, you understand what your message is. 3, you know what your pillars are. 4, you have a plan. And 5, is show up every day consistently. Some days you're going to get a lot of likes and comments. Other days you're going to get not a thing. But if you're organized about your approach, then and you're excited about the ideas and brainstorming, it's going to come very naturally. And this doesn't take a lot of time, particularly if it's an extension of who you are. So here's your homework for tonight. You're saying, this is great information, James. I've got to dive in. I've got to process it. But what can I do immediately? If you look on Instagram and even Facebook, they both have things at the top called bios. And I want you to understand your bio is your first impression. People, when they click on your Instagram page or your Facebook page, that's the first thing they're going to see. What does that say about you right now? If you were to go and audit, what does your bio say about you? Does it talk about who you help? Because people have a split second where they're interested in your page. You have to capture their attention with your bio. So here is the first help statement that I want you to create. And this took me a long time to create, by the way. Here's the statement that you need to work on. I help XYZ with XYZ so that they can XYZ. I'll repeat that. I help. Who do you help? I help XYZ with XYZ so that they can XYZ. If you look on my Instagram page, you will see my help statement. It is clear, it is defined, so that somebody who is an athlete, who is a parent of an athlete, who has friends that are athletes, they will spend time there, because my promise is I'm going to help them holistically become a complete athlete. Take a look at my help statement. It'll help guide you. And so now I'm going to close with 5 quick tips to make your bio pop and make it update and up-leveled, whether it's Instagram or Facebook. I am gearing this more towards Instagram because that's where more sales happen. Tip number 1 is find a great picture of you. Find a great picture of you and insert it into, edit your profile, insert it there. Number 2, when you're in Instagram, you're going to edit your profile and it's going to ask you for your username. Use your name. I see some people using catchy cleverisms. One of my best friends uses a name that I would never associate for her. So I even have a hard time finding her on Instagram, and she's my best friend. Use your name. Use your name in your username, not something cryptic. Because if people have to spend time trying to find you, they're going to quit. Tip number 3, in the name section of your Instagram, and I've gotten a lot of questions about this, put what you do. So in my name section, where normally you would see Jamie Cantrell, it says coach for complete athletes. And the reason why is when some person goes to Instagram and they click on the search button and they type in the word coach, guess what's going to pop up? Mine is going to start to filter, excuse me, through their search button. Okay. So it's going to help you when people are doing searches for your topic. Tip number 4, in the bio section is where you want to use your help statement. Now, recently, Instagram has now expanded how many characters, word characters you can use there. So include your help statement and include some clever things about you there. And the last tip is include a link. A link is a call to action to help people go where you want them to go. For now, you can include your Juice Plus website until you can start creating some other links. But I'll be honest, when people see a Juice Plus website or any sales website, they're going to scroll right on past. You could include a link for a freebie, a free recipe guide that we have on Freedom Revolution. And there's all sorts of free little things that you can offer, but the link is a call to action to keep your audience interested in what you do. So that's what I have for tonight. Your focus, your next action step is to update all of your bios. You can do the same exact thing on Facebook, a little bit different, but genuinely the concept's the same. Update both of your bios and then go through the content we talked about tonight to give yourself proper liftoff on either platform. I can't wait. Melissa's question, can I post the same thing both on IG and Facebook? The answer is yes. However, the platforms are different. The platforms are different. If you look at mine, you won't see a lot of overlapping, but for time's sake, when you first get started, it's absolutely fine to do that. Facebook is typically a lot of your friends. Instagram is where you're trying to attract a larger audience to come shop on your page. Does that make sense? Awesome. Any other questions? I'm trying to check the chat button. Okay, awesome. Terry, that is what I have for now. And hear me, I'm no expert. I'm just learning, and what I'm learning works. What I'm learning, I just want to share with you.
Well,
Peace and blessings.
Jamie, you are an expert, and I have 3 pages filled with notes. All right, so I made a decision, Jamie, that I was going to post 5 days a week. And you know, I usually only post maybe 3 times a month. But I made a decision the other day. Oh, I think everybody froze. Anyways, I'm going to start posting. I'm going to go in and change my bio. And that's where he starts. No, for those of us coming to Waco in a couple days, I think we're going to round table. And Jamie, do you have your notes, your 5 steps? Do you have that printed out?
I have it. Yeah, on my email.
Right. If you send that to me in an email so that when we're sitting in Waco, you know, at a picnic table, we can practice these 5 steps and start working on our bios and everything.
Yeah, I'll screenshot. I mean, I have it right here because I have it typed up, right?
Okay.
I'll screenshot it and just send it to you.
That's perfect. That is absolutely perfect. All right. Okay, this is so exciting. I'm gonna tell you the other thing I'm going to do while I'm driving to Waco is I'm going to re-listen to this training because it's streaming. It is streaming in Team Up. So you can always go back and listen to it on Team Up. And this, of course, is recorded and we're going to turn it into a YouTube for you. So Jamie, I can't thank you. This is brilliant.
Well, I don't know if it's brilliant. It's just what I've been taught. I do want to say one thing really quickly, though. Once I became clear on my help statement, and that actually took me a while, believe it or not, it took me a long time to come up with that statement. What it gave me was permission to free flow. And what I mean is I sat down with pen and paper. And if I'm truly interested in helping families of athletes and athletes becoming complete, what it allowed me to do was to brainstorm all of the problems that athletes have. That's the space I know. Jerry Moran is a gardener. She knows what gardeners go through. But when I sat down and I was like, oh my gosh, I had 10 pages of notes about the pain points that athletes and their families have. And guess what? That's my content for my social media. So you're not going to wonder, once you become clear on who you are and who you help, you're not going to have trouble coming up with content for your social media.
That's brilliant. That is so clarifying and that is so helpful, right? And I can see that and I can kind of organically feel how that would happen. Yeah, that's perfect. That is so perfect. Well, hey, congratulations on a new partner. That's kind of exciting. Oh my goodness.
Well, I voxered you right away. It was.
I know, like, wow. Okay, and she just went online and just signed up as a rep under you. Guys, that's amazing. That is profound. All right, Jamie, I can't thank you enough. Jamie will be with us in Waco. For those guys that you're coming to Waco, it's going to be about 90 degrees. So keep that in mind. Okay, it's I keep freezing here. Any case, Jamie, thank you. Yes, excited for Waco. I'm excited to be with you. If you're not going to Anaheim, if you're not going to Waco, make sure that you have signed up for your virtual conference ticket. Don't be left behind. Okay, everybody, good night. See you soon. Next Monday night will be conference wrap up. Let the good times roll. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Jamie.
Thank you,
Awesome
Jamie.
job, Jamie.
You're welcome.
Thank
Thank
you.
you so much, Jamie. That was
Thank you.